There are games that remind you why people still believe in magic.
Smith, it's a high fly ball to deep left field.
Why we watch sports at all.
It's got a chance. It is gone.
Games 6 and 7 of the Dodgers-Blue Jays World Series were exactly that. Every pitch felt alive, and you could sense that the difference between heartbreak and history might come down to a single decision, a single moment. Games 6 and 7 had it all. Elimination stakes, clutch homers, and momentum swings that left both teams gasping for air. There were game-saving double plays, and even a wild dead ball controversy when a line drive got wedged in the wall. On paper, Toronto held every advantage. The stats, the momentum, the home field roar.
Breaking ball, and he was all over it.
Everything pointed to them coming out on top. Yet, when the bridge between playing and winning narrowed, the Dodgers found another gear. What separated them wasn't just talent or analytics, it was intuition. Dave Roberts managed those two nights as if he were listening to something beneath the noise, a quieter current guiding him through the chaos. In this video, we're going to take a deeper look at the highlight plays of Games 6 and 7 and see exactly how this series became a live demonstration of something I deeply believe, that outcomes are shaped not only by logic and data, but by consciousness, by energy, chemistry, intuition, momentum, and the ability to stay present. At the center of it all is Dodger manager Dave Roberts. He didn't abandon analytics. He did something much more difficult. He trusted both the numbers and his gut.
The Blue Jays had second and third and nobody out.
But first, if you're new here, welcome. I'm Trill. I'm a conscious creator and a high-vibe music artist. I'm also a former professional sports handicapper, one of the best in the world. If you don't know what that means, it means that I used to predict the outcomes of major sporting events. I released my predictions to my clients, and most of the time, I beat the odds makers, which made my clients money. So if you're interested in that perspective, hit the like and subscribe, and let's dive in. Modern baseball runs on data, matchup charts, win probabilities, exit velocity. None of that is wrong. Analytics have elevated the game. But there's another layer that no spreadsheet can capture: timing, body language, and the collective rhythm of a dugout. Dave Roberts understands both worlds. Early in his career, he leaned heavily on analytics. Now he blends that precision with feel, often seeming to sense a moment rather than calculate it. It's the same tension many of us navigate daily, the pull between logic and intuition, between what looks safe and what feels right. The Dodgers are one of baseball's most data-driven organizations, yet what stood out in this series was Dave's willingness to deviate from that script when the moment demanded it. As a professional sports handicapper, I saw that pattern constantly. The models predict probability, but the human element, team chemistry, emotional coherence, motivation, and belief often decided who won the game. This series became a case study. The team with the better stats versus the team with the better state of mind. By Game 6, it had become apparent that the Dodgers, after losing 2 games straight at home, were sputtering. They needed a spark, a changeup of some kind to get them rolling again. That's when Dave Roberts made a controversial call. He decided to start Miguel Rojas, one of the veterans on the team who hadn't gotten a hit in well over a month and who was on the decline in every category. But Dave loved his energy. Rojas had the ability to fire the team up and be a stable force on the field, and that was enough of a reason to insert him into the lineup. From the first inning, Rojas brought a calm, grounded rhythm. As a result, you could feel the Dodgers' defense harmoniously tightening. Of course, with Yamamoto, the most electric pitcher in the postseason, on the mound, the Dodgers were cruising. In the 9th inning of the game, however, 2 Blue Jays were on base, and Toronto was threatening to tie or take the lead. A ball was hit into the shallow left field. Kike Hernandez charged and snagged it, and in one motion threw to Rojas, who made a spectacular play, fielding the ball on a tough hop to nail the runner at second base, Addison Barger, who had taken way too big of a lead. That amazing play ended Game 6 and extended the series to Game 7. legendary pitcher Max Scherzer took the mound for the Blue Jays in Game 7, while Shohei Ohtani started for the Dodgers on short rest. Shohei somehow managed to pitch out of 2 bases-loaded jams in the first and second inning, but in the third, he gave up a 3-run homer to Bo Bichette. The stadium went wild. Everyone in the stands and in the Blue Jays dugout could sense the victory. They could taste the champagne. High fives flew a bit too early though, because when you start celebrating before the work is done, presence slips, focus drifts, the signal weakens, and momentum begins to drain. The Dodgers didn't fight noise with noise. They stayed centered in their rhythm, playing clean, patient baseball, letting the game slow down until the cracks appeared, and they could quietly chip away at the lead. In the 9th inning, with the Dodgers back against the wall, Miguel Rojas once again became the spark. He worked a full count, waited on a hanging slider, and sent it screaming into left for a game-tying home run.
Payoff. Drilled to left field and deep and gone!
The energy shifted instantly. The stadium that had been thunderous seconds earlier fell silent. That wasn't luck. It was balance finally restored.
Dave Roberts played his gut. The guy hadn't had a hit in a month. And in the 9th inning of Game 7, he's hit a tying home run.
In the bottom half, Toronto loaded the bases with 1 out, a single swing away from glory. That's when Dave Roberts called on Yoshinobu Yamamoto on 0 days rest. A gutsy move, but one that was rooted in trust, not desperation. He knew Yamamoto was ready, not just physically, but mentally and energetically. Then he made another adjustment, pulling out a banged-up Tommy Edman and putting in Andy Pages to patrol center field. Despite Andy's subpar hitting, he had fresh legs, a clear mind, and an eagerness to contribute. The very next batter was Ernie Clement, who by this point in the series had broken the record for the most postseason hits. With one swing of the bat, Clement launched a fly ball that looked destined to find the gap. Pages took off like a racehorse and covered impossible ground. Just as the ball was about to fall, the 2 outfielders collided midair. Somehow, Pages came away with the catch. The stadium gasped. They couldn't believe what they just saw. The Dodgers were still alive, and the game was heading to extra innings. It was logic meeting flow, a decision that, from the outside, might look like luck, but in truth was alignment in motion. The right person in the right place at exactly the right time, all because Dave Roberts had a feeling. Another key decision Dave made was moving catcher Will Smith up in the lineup. The Blue Jays had been pitching around Ohtani, walking him to neutralize his power, while Mookie Betts was struggling to convert. Roberts reshuffled the lineup, moving Will Smith into the number 2 spot behind Ohtani, a small adjustment that carried big energy. In the top of the 11th, with 2 outs and no one on, the game was tied 4-4. That is when Will Smith stepped to the plate. He worked the count to 2-0, and then got a hanging slider. He didn't overswing, he just connected. The sound of contact said everything.
Smith hits a high fly ball to deep left field.
The ball arced into the left field seats, and for a moment, time stopped.
It's got a chance. It is gone. It's Will Smith in Game 7. And in the 11th inning of Game 7, the Dodgers lead for the first time.
The swing didn't just win the championship for the Dodgers, it changed the vibration of the entire series. Across both nights, a clear pattern had emerged. Dave Roberts balancing data with intuition, choosing players not just for their stats, but for where they were energetically. Rojas, steady. Pages, alert. Smith, centered. And Yamamoto, fearless. Each decision carried the same message. Trust what you've built, then trust what you feel. That, to me, is the real lesson of this World Series. The Dodgers didn't out-analyze or out-muscle Toronto. They tuned in just a little bit better. They kept their awareness when the other side drifted ahead in their minds. We talk about clutch players as if it's genetic, but it's usually psychological and spiritual. The clutch state is what happens when awareness expands and time slows down. You stop trying to make something happen and allow it to happen through you. After the victory parade, people will still say that the Dodgers got lucky. One ball out of reach, one call that went their way. But luck is the word we use when we don't have language for consciousness. When a team is aligned, synchronicities start appearing. A bad hop turns good. A gust of wind keeps a ball in play. It's not superstition, it's coherence. Every player, every fan, every heartbeat feeding the same shared field of intention. You can measure spin rate and launch angle, but not the way belief alters air density. Yet anyone who's ever played knows it's real. As a former professional sports handicapper, I've learned that the best predictions always come from reading that field, not just looking at the stats. I look at chemistry, body language, momentum, the way a team celebrates, how they handle frustration, whether their energy expands or contracts under pressure. That's where the truth hides. The Dodgers' run was about more than baseball. It was about a group of people choosing trust over control, chemistry over ego, and intuition over fear. Dave Roberts became the bridge between analytics and instinct, the translator between the spreadsheet and the soul. That's not just a sports story, it's a life lesson. We all face Game 7 moments, projects, relationships, decisions where the data points one way, but the heart points another. The real courage is in listening. In the end, the Dodgers didn't just win another title. They demonstrated a principle. The world rewards coherence. When you trust your preparation, but stay open to intuition, you create space for miracles that look a hell of a lot like line drives. Baseball will continue to evolve. More data, more precision. But that invisible layer will always remain. It's the same energy that shapes every part of life. When mind and intuition play on the same team, the odds begin to bend in your favor. Congratulations, Dodgers fans. This World Series win was one for the ages. If you enjoy high vibe content, hit the like and subscribe. Until next time, namaste.